Well, New York's Governor Kathy Hochul announced a package of 10 new bills designed to tighten gun laws across the state. Lawmakers say they could close loopholes that may have contributed to that mass shooting at Tops Market in Buffalo last month. If passed, the legislation would raise the age for buying semi-automatic rifles to 21, tighten existing red flag laws, and ban civilians from buying body armor.
The bills are expected to pass because of the state's Democrat-controlled legislature and be signed into law later this month. Joining us now is New York State's Senate Majority Leader, Democrat Andrea Stewart-Cousins. Senator, thank you so much for being here. What of these laws would have changed what happened, the tragedy in Buffalo?
Well, again, thank you for having me. But, I think when we look at Buffalo, we look at what New York has done, we wish everything could have changed. But what we do know is that we have red flag laws. And we're looking into why they weren't utilized, for example. People spoke to this young man who had threatened to, commit suicide and do a shooting, and yet he was let go. So one of the laws that we'll be passing tomorrow will say that there is a responsibility for the police, for the district attorney, and also there will be an opportunity for healthcare providers to be able to apply for these extreme risk protection orders. I think people want to know that we have laws that could really prevent some of this, and people should be using them properly. So I think that would be helpful. The other thing that we want to make sure is that you have to be 21 or older to get a semi-automatic rifle. I mean, there is no reason why we are just having anyone wait to their 18th birthday and run in and get something that's a weapon of mass destruction. So we will be changing that law as well. There will be a licensing process that you cannot really enter into unless you're 21. We're looking at social media. I mean, here's a guy, again, apparently in Buffalo, he was on social media. He was actually telling people that he was planning to do this mass shooting. And so we've established a department. We will be establishing through this legislation a department in the district attorney's in our Attorney General's office that will be able to look at social media, violent extremism, hate speech, and really try and have some accountability with the social media platforms so that these things are not ignored and absolutely followed up on. So there are a number of things. We're also doing micro stamping, and oh, by the way, the security guard, the retired police officer, Mr. Salter, who shot at the perpetrator of the Tops mass shooting, didn't wound him because he was wearing a vest, body armor. So what we've done now is we'll be outlawing the sale of body armor because unless you're law enforcement, military, or there's some other reason, emergency services, et cetera, that you should be wearing body armor, we don't necessarily think that it's important for people to just go in and buy vests. So there are a number of things that we are doing. Hopefully we will lead, but I mean, even more hopefully we will stop this culture of guns and violence and just, not be in a position where we're burying our seniors, we're burying our children. We can do much, much better.
Yeah, it's a suite of 10 bills, and I want to zero in on one specifically because I think a lot of people don't know that most states do not require a license to purchase one of these semi-automatic rifles or a long gun, even states that require licensing for handguns. And that point alone, requiring a license to get one of these guns could go a long way to keep them out of the hands who do not, who or should not have them. Speak to that if you would.
That is exactly right. I mean, again, these are weapons of mass destruction. They're weapons of war. What is the need? But if you do need this, then you go through a licensing process. The licensing process will, if necessary, it'll be a cooling off period or whatever it is. But again, the permitting processing will only be applicable if you're 21 and older. So I hope that, again, people will think twice about what it is they are doing. And certainly if they're not thinking twice, we already have background checks. We've got now this permitting process that's going to happen. We will force them through the process to have the time to think about what exactly they're planning to do with a weapon of mass destruction.
New York State Senator Andrea Stewart-Cousins, thank you very much for all the information.
Thank you so much.